Let's cross over to New York, where an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, it wrapped up half an hour ago. It was called by Ukraine, and following proceedings there for us was Marina Portnoy. She joins us now live from New York. And as I understand it, Marina, tempers there seem to be running pretty high.
You understand it correctly. This 24th UN Security Council meeting on Ukraine was extremely heated, with harsh accusations being thrown from all sides. Now, as we've been reporting, Ukrainian officials claim that Russia has launched a full-out invasion of their country, which Moscow has denied. Well, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, accused Moscow of repeatedly lying, insisting that Russia has moved troops, tanks, armored personnel carriers, artillery, and multiple rocket launchers into Ukraine. And she said Russia cannot be trusted, even presenting some of her own evidence to the Council.
One of the separatist leaders that Russia has armed and backed said openly that 3,000 or 4,000 Russian soldiers have joined their cause. He was quick to clarify that these soldiers were on vacation. But a Russian soldier who chooses to fight in Ukraine on his summer break is still a Russian soldier. Yet still, according to the Russian government, the soldiers were never there. They were never in Crimea either, until Russia announced that those soldiers who were never there had annexed Crimea.
Now, shortly after the U.S. envoy spoke, Russian Ambassador Vitaly Churkin did fire back. First, he said that the current escalation of violence in Ukraine is the consequence of the direct policy of Kyiv, which he says is carrying out a war on its own people. Russia says the Ukrainian military continues shelling civilian quarters, and tens of thousands of people are currently sitting in basements without food, electricity, or medicine. According to Moscow, over 814,000 Ukrainian refugees have fled to Russia to flee the violence carried out by Kyiv. Now, during the meeting, Ambassador Churkin called on the U.S. to stop interfering in the international affairs of a sovereign state and told Washington to rein in its geopolitical ambitions.
Everyone knows that there are Russian volunteers in the eastern parts of the Ukraine. No one is hiding that. We'd like to see similar transparency shown by other countries. For example, maybe our American colleagues can tell us about what the tens of American advisors who are in the building of the Ukrainian Security Council are doing, or how many so-called mercenaries from so-called military enterprises are waging war thousands of kilometers away from their land. Where did the Ukrainian security forces get the latest American weapons?
It's important to point out that amid all the allegations of a so-called Russian invasion, nothing has been independently confirmed. A spokesperson for the UN Secretary General said it cannot be verified that there are Russian troops in Ukraine. And even Jen Psaki, the spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, says Washington doesn't doubt Kyiv's assessment, but U.S. officials just don't have any independent verification. Now, at the Security Council meeting, Ambassador Churkin also stressed that it's essential for all parties to maintain the positive tone of Tuesday's international meeting in Minsk, where Presidents Putin and Poroshenko had their first face-to-face meeting and agreed for the need to work towards a peaceful solution.